If you've been wondering whether it's time for you to invest in hiring somebody to help you with your SEO, you're probably wondering how you can get the best results without being swindled or being disappointed. After all, SEO is notoriously difficult to learn and time-consuming to implement. So how can you get the most out of an engagement with an SEO professional? There are a few things to consider when it comes to hiring an SEO consultant or an agency. For example, what are your goals with actually investing in your SEO? How much time do you have to devote to doing it versus how much do you need to outsource? What is your budget for this process? And how much do you want to be involved? So in this video, I'm going to be explaining what to expect when you hire somebody to do your SEO or help you with your SEO, and some questions you can ask when you are vetting potential candidates. Hi, I'm Meg Casebolt from Love at First Search, where we help online entrepreneurs to show up in search results and then turn those new visitors into leads, subscribers, and sales. And if you've been thinking about hiring an SEO consultant, there are a few things that you need to know about how this industry works and what you can expect. So let's just think about hiring a consultant in general. If you were looking for just somebody to help you with your social media, you might go Google something like social media consultant or social media management company, but then you might find somebody who's a Twitter expert, and you actually want to be found on LinkedIn. And if all they do is spend time on Twitter, then you could be really disappointed by those results. You also need to make sure that you know what the outcomes are that you're looking for when you hire that person. Because if you're thinking that the only thing that you want social media to do is to bring in new qualified leads, and that person's really looking at brand awareness and social engagement, you might be disappointed and feel like you're not getting a good ROI on the amount that you're investing with them. The same is true for finding a partner to help you with your SEO. You need to align your goals and your budget with that person's expertise. And the type of business that you're running will have a huge impact on how and whether SEO can work for you. There's basically 3 ways that SEO can help you based on what your business model is. If you are a local business and your outcome is that you want to jump to the top of Google Maps and you want to get new people to come to your store or book you for in-person services, then you want to look for an expert who has expertise with local SEO. Their website should have resources about setting up your Google My Business account, making citations, gathering reviews, and their case studies should come from other local businesses and demonstrate that they were able to improve those local ranks, to get more in-person consultations, and to drive more foot traffic into those stores. Another business type that could benefit from using SEO is a blog or a media site. So if you run a website that has display ads for revenue generation, like AdSense or Mediavine or Ezoic, then SEO can help you get the most traffic possible to your website, and therefore your goal should be impressions. It should be getting as many eyeballs as possible on your website, so that way those people are seeing ads and you're worrying about things like the time spent on your page, because the more time people spend on your page, the more ads they see, the more money you make. And if you're running a business like this and trying to evaluate an SEO company, you want to look for testimonials and case studies that include information about doubling traffic in a certain amount of time or increasing your ad revenue over a certain period. And then the last SEO business model is people who sell things online. So online service providers, digital product creators, e-commerce, they want to be found for a specific product or service, but it doesn't always matter where your audience lives, so you don't need to do the local SEO tactics. This is when SEO can help you get not just page views, but actually get leads, subscribers, and sales. People who are creating strategies for these online businesses should be focused less on impressions, which is like the quantity of traffic you're getting to your site, and more on conversions, which is people who are actually filling out forms, buying products, joining your email list. These companies may have resources on their sites about evaluating the correct keywords, not just based on search volume, and they would be focused on attracting your ideal clients and maybe even repelling or weeding out non-ideal clients. For them, it's less about getting more people to your website and more about getting the right people to your website. Another factor to consider is which SEO tactics you actually need to invest in. The Google algorithm has over 200 factors that it considers when setting up these rankings, and they range across multiple disciplines. That's why sometimes SEO can feel like this cross-disciplinary mashup of copywriting skills, design skills, development, public relations, sometimes even cartography. And a good SEO consulting agency should have practical knowledge across all of the 4 main pillars of SEO. So technical SEO, making sure that your website loads quickly, it's mobile friendly, it's secure. Link building SEO, getting those quality inbound links to boost your domain authority. Your content SEO, strategizing posts that will get the right people to your website. And local SEO, when you want to get found in a specific geographic area. Now, as SEO consultants and agencies, we all sort of lead with the strategies that we like best. So when you're evaluating who you want to work with, find someone who understands them all, but will help you with the tactics that you want to engage in. Personally, content SEO is my favorite. And I don't spend a lot of time on backlinks with my clients unless they specifically request it. So as you're looking for somebody to work with, make sure that the tactics that they would recommend for you align with the goals that you want. If you already have a website that's running full steam ahead and you just want to be able to climb in the ranks for things you already rank for, you may need to do a strong backlink campaign. If your website's broken in a lot of places, you may want to focus on somebody who has more technical SEO knowledge. And if you want to get found in those local searches, find somebody who is an expert at Google My Business and local SEO strategies. And if you want to get found for YouTube videos, blog posts, content strategy, then give me a call because that is my jam. I love content strategy for online businesses. You may also be wondering, do I actually need to hire an SEO specialist for this? Can't I just hire a web designer or a writer and they can do this for me? Sure. Especially if you're just getting started, this might be the right decision to make. You may want to hire a web designer who can just build out your website and include some of these SEO tactics that you're learning from me. Or you may want to hire a writer that can create all of the words on your website and craft them together and maybe also integrate some of those keywords. However, not every designer has advanced SEO training and not every writer is great at keyword research. So you may want to just bring an SEO person onto your team to make sure that your site structure is correct, to make sure that your keywords are getting used in the right places and the keyword selection is right, just to make sure that everything is set up correctly, to review things, give some strategy, and then maybe you can hire that designer and writer to actually implement. And that'll cost you less than having an SEO team doing all of these things for you. So let's talk about that next. How do you work with an SEO consultant or an SEO team, and how much does it cost? I like to think of this as 4 different levels of service. So the first level is what you're doing right now. It's DIY. Maybe you want to find a course. I have a couple available on my site, or you just want to use blog posts and YouTube videos to get the basic lay of the land and then try to do it all yourself. This is awesome for your budget because heck, this YouTube channel is free and it's full of great information, but it is more time consuming, not just because of the time that you're spending learning this, but also because you could be making some time-consuming mistakes by making the wrong selections or setting things up incorrectly. So that's the trade-off that you're making for DIY. The next level up would be SEO coaching. This is what I do in my membership, where people have a course that they go through so they can implement it, but then they can also come to me and ask questions about how this works with their businesses and in their lives. So they're learning it, but also they're hopefully not making some of those time-consuming mistakes in the process because I'm there to say, oh, no, you don't have to worry about this part. You should be focusing your attention here instead. So that's the level of support that you need. Definitely head on over to attractandactivate.com and find out more about that level of service. So we have DIY, we have SEO coaching. A level above that is SEO consulting. My team and I do this by creating full-blown SEO content strategies for our clients in an intensive format. So we meet with our clients, we come up with a plan of attack and we hand it over to them, and then they do the implementation. Often with the clients that I work with for this, they have teams in place. They already have writers, they have designers, they have people who can do this work. They just need a little bit of support and guidance to know which direction to go in. And lastly, you can hire a team to do the SEO for you. So they would start with your website technical audit and they would go through and come up with a keyword strategy and they would create the content for you and they would do the outreach for the backlinks and they would own your Google My Business page. And it is awesome when you can afford it. But That level of service often runs in the thousands or tens of thousands of dollars a month to get that level of implementation support. So with all things, you get what you pay for. If you don't have a budget to spend on your SEO, you can DIY it. If you have a little bit, try to hire somebody who can help you in the short term or just point you in the right direction. And if you do have a full-blown website and you have a larger budget, you can hire people to take care of all of this for you. You need to make that decision based not only on what your budget is, but how much you want to be involved in this process. Even if you have a giant budget, if you want to really be included in the content strategy, then maybe you can still hire a consultant and have your team do it for you. You do not need to hire people to do every piece of this. A good consultant will be able to give you the training that you need to be able to implement this with your own internal team or to do it yourself without necessarily needing to outsource every single step in the process. So how do you find the right person or company to work with you on SEO? The biggest piece is to make sure that it's somebody who has some familiarity with your industry or your geography or working with other companies like you. My team has a ton of experience with online businesses like coaches and consultants and service providers and creative entrepreneurs and course creators. We are so awesome at helping them make sure that their websites are running smoothly, come up with a content strategy that drives people to become leads, and make it part of a holistic strategy. But recently I got an inquiry from a local ice cream shop and I passed them on to another marketing agency because they have more experience getting foot traffic to brick and mortar mainstream shops. Also, they were local to me, and if I had done all of those consultations in person, then I would have eaten half of their ice cream in the ice cream shop. This is just not what we're best at doing. So don't just choose the agency based on the person that you like or who's in your town, but make sure that you're finding people with experience doing what you want them to do and that can get the goal outcomes that you're looking for, not just whoever is shooting you an email saying, I will get you to #1 on Google. Okay, so you've narrowed down your list of potential SEO agencies that you may want to work with. Here are some questions that you can ask when you're hiring them. What results should I expect to see and in what time frame can I expect them? How do you measure success? How do you track that information? How do you share that information with your clients? Can you share examples of people that you've worked with in the past? Maybe some case studies of what kind of results they've seen. What is your experience in my industry, in my geographic area, and how will we communicate? You can also expect them to ask questions of you. So this isn't just a one-way street where you're interviewing them. They're also interviewing you to see if they want to work with you. So when I have people who reach out to me with inquiries, there are a lot of questions that I ask. Usually it includes, who do you work with? What's your key offer? Who are your competitors? What other marketing channels do you use? What tracking do you already have set up? Why SEO right now? And what would a home run look like if we work together? That way I can make sure that the people that I'm working with have reasonable expectations and I can set outcomes that I think would be reasonable based on their competition, based on their industry, based on what they want to get out of their SEO. And if I'm not a good fit for them, I can also make that choice to send them along to another referral source because I don't want to be disappointing. I want to make sure that I have a home run with every client that we work with. If after listening to this, you're interested in working with Love at First Search, head on over to loveatfirstsearch.com. You can find out more about all of the different ways that you can work with us, from coaching and the Attract and Activate membership to our consulting intensives and our one-to-one services. If you thought this video was helpful, make sure to like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next week with more advice about how to get more people to your website who are perfect for you and will become new leads, subscribers, and sales.